the sun goes down,
5
all
times The
weirdos
Simpsons
turn crazy.
seemed to predict the future. What if one of the most famous cartoons in history has been showing us the future years before it happened? A president who hadn't become president yet. A massive corporate merger that hadn't happened. A global disease outbreak. And one image involving the Twin Towers that appeared 4 years before September 11th. Some of these are genuine coincidences. Some were clever satire. And some viral Simpsons predictions online are simply fake. But today, we're looking at 5 real Simpsons episodes that make you stop and ask, how did they get that so close? 5. The 9/11 coincidence. Episode: The City of New York vs. Homer Simpson, Season 9, Episode 1, 1997. Let's start with one of the most famous examples. In The City of New York vs. Homer Simpson, the Simpson family travels to New York to retrieve Homer's car. The episode features the World Trade Center towers prominently. And there's one particular image that has become famous online. A magazine showing the number 9 beside an image of the Twin Towers, which some viewers interpret as 9/11. The episode originally aired in 1997, years before the September 11th attacks. But here's the important part. This isn't evidence that the writers knew 9/11 was coming. The episode was simply set in New York, so the World Trade Center was naturally part of the scenery and story. The 9+ towers equals 9/11 interpretation is something people noticed after the tragedy. And that's what makes this one so fascinating. It looks like a prediction, but the context suggests coincidence. 4. Bart invents a pandemic. Episode: 4. A totally fun thing Bart will never do again. Season 23, Episode 19, 2012. Now, this one is going to sound almost impossible. In 2012, The Simpsons aired an episode called A Totally Fun Thing Bart Will Never Do Again. The family goes on a cruise. Bart discovers that the holiday is going to end, and he absolutely does not want to go home. So what does Bart do? He creates a fake global pandemic. Bart broadcasts footage from a fictional movie featuring a general announcing that a dangerous virus is spreading around the world. The passengers believe the outbreak is real. And suddenly, the cruise ship can't go home. Fast forward to 2026, and social media users began comparing the episode with reports surrounding a real hantavirus outbreak associated with a cruise ship. But there's a massive catch. The viral image circulating online showing Bart pointing at a ship called Corona Cruises is not from the Simpsons episode. It was digitally fabricated. The actual ship in the episode is the Royalty Valhalla, and Bart's outbreak was fictional. So, did the Simpsons predict a real outbreak? Not exactly. But the similarity between a pandemic scare plus a cruise ship plus passengers being stranded is undeniably creepy. And this is a perfect example of why you should always check the original episode before believing a viral Simpsons prediction. 3. The World of Osaka Flu. Episode: 3. Marge in Chains. Season 4, Episode 21, 1993. Now we go back even further. The Simpsons episode, Marge in Chains. A mysterious illness called the Osaka Flu arrives in Springfield from Japan.
People become sick. Fear spreads.
The media reports the outbreak, and Springfield descends into chaos. Sound familiar? During the COVID-19 pandemic, images from this episode went viral because viewers noticed the similarities. But again, there is a catch. The Simpsons didn't predict COVID-19 specifically. The episode's writer, Bill Oakley, explained that the Osaka Flu storyline was inspired by the idea of earlier influenza pandemics, essentially using a familiar disease outbreak as a comedic plot device. So, why does it feel so accurate? Because pandemics follow patterns. International travel. Imported goods.
People of
Fear.
Springfield, because of the
Rumors.
epidemic, I have cancelled my vacation
Media
to the Bahamas.
coverage.
Panic.
The Simpsons wasn't necessarily predicting COVID. It was satirizing something that had already happened before. And then history repeated itself. 2. The president who wasn't president yet. Episode 2. Bart to the Future. Season 11, Episode 17, 2000. This is probably the most famous Simpsons prediction of them all. In the year 2000, The Simpsons showed us a future where Lisa Simpson becomes President of the United States. And who does she say was president before her? Donald Trump. Lisa talks about inheriting a huge financial problem from President Trump. The episode was written by Dan Greeny and directed by Michael Marcantel. And remember, this episode aired in 2000. Trump didn't become president until 2017. That's a 17-year gap. So how did they do it? Well, the writers weren't actually seeing the future. Trump had already been a famous public figure and had talked about politics and a potential presidential run. The writers took a larger-than-life celebrity and imagined, what if this guy actually became president? At the time, it was a joke. Years later, the joke became reality. And suddenly, everyone started calling it a prediction. 1. Disney buys Fox. Episode 1. When You Dish Upon a Star. Season 10. Episode 5, 1998. But this might be the strangest one. In a 1998 episode called When You Dish Upon a Star, there's a background sign at the 20th Century Fox lot that reads, 20th Century Fox, a division of Walt Disney Company. Sounds normal today, except in 1998, Disney didn't own Fox. The episode aired more than 20 years before Disney completed its acquisition of 21st Century Fox in 2019. The episode was directed by Pete Michaels. Now here's where things get really interesting. Was this a prediction? Probably not. It was most likely a joke. The Simpsons was making fun of the entertainment industry and Fox itself. But someone on the production team imagined Disney owning Fox as a gag. And decades later, reality caught up with the joke. That's the Simpsons phenomenon in a nutshell. So, how can they be so accurate? How can a cartoon seemingly predict so many things? The answer is actually less supernatural than you might think. The Simpsons has produced hundreds of episodes and thousands upon thousands of jokes, visual gags, and predictions about politics, technology, business, and society. The writers aren't randomly guessing. They're watching the world. They're watching politics. They're watching technology. They're watching corporations. And they're asking, what happens if this trend gets taken to the extreme? Sometimes they're wrong. Sometimes they're hilariously wrong. But occasionally, reality catches up. And when you have enough jokes, enough episodes, and enough years, some of those jokes are eventually going to look remarkably prophetic. That's why The Simpsons predictions are so fascinating. Not necessarily because the writers can see the future, but because they're very good at seeing where the present might be heading. So, are The Simpsons predicting the future? Or are we simply looking backwards and connecting the dots? The 9/11 image is probably coincidence. The cruise ship pandemic image circulating online is fake. The Osaka Flu was satire. Trump was a surprisingly accurate political joke. And the Disney Fox sign? Well, that one is still pretty hard to look at without saying, "Doh." Fire, which Simpsons prediction should we investigate next? Comment it below. And if you enjoyed this video, follow for part 2, 5 more Simpsons predictions that actually came true.
Buying it. They're buying it.